Hey, got another video training for you from BrainPan. Hi, BrainPan. Today I wanted to share a little bit about working with a church that does not support its youth ministry. I have some experience with this. I have worked in at least one church that did not truly support its student ministry program. They claimed they did when we were hired. They sold us some great dreams, some great ideas they wanted to run with, but those stopped almost as soon as we were hired. It was generally a very negative atmosphere for our ministry. We butted heads a few times. I wound up leaving that church. There are a few things you can do when you are confronted with this type of a ministry. The first is, obviously, you can leave. I would not recommend this for everyone. Sometimes God has put you in a position to change the culture, and you have to discern if that's what God is calling you to do, to change that culture for that church. So you need to make sure you're discerning properly. The second option is, I would definitely encourage you to speak with the church leadership, individually and as a group, about your concerns. Make sure you have concrete examples of how you see the church is not supporting, and be willing to listen when they share their perspective, because they may have seen things you haven't, where the church may be disrespected by the student ministry program. Very key. Don't make it personal. Don't use things like, you do this. Make sure you use language such as, I see you do this, or I feel that you do this. Especially when using those concrete examples. This is what I've seen. This is what I have heard. Make sure you're using your testimony. Don't use third-rate information. So-and-so told me this, about that. And don't really nitpick about stuff. Ooh, we got in trouble because we forgot to turn the lights off in the sanctuary. Oh, I can't believe you would fret about the sanctuary lights being on all night long when we had an amazing event. You do need to work with the church. You do need to work with everyone in the church. And so, make sure you're not guilty of sending the wrong message or being the bad ministry. You can gain a lot of support just by not by back-talking and by gossiping, but by finding people who sympathize, and who, not someone you're going to vent to, but someone who you can get advice from, someone who might be willing to be an advocate for you. Your senior pastor should be an advocate for you, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Make sure that you don't pick the wrong battle. There are some fights that are worth fighting. As a college professor of mine put it to me, you've got to pick the hills you're willing to die on. Are you willing to die on the hill of, oh, they won't let us have the gym on this night because there's already an established program running? Is that worth dying on for you? Is they say they want to integrate the youth into the church, but then put up roadblocks at every opportunity. Is that a hill worth dying on? You have to discern which battles are worth fighting. If it's one that's worth fighting, then use the scriptural guidelines for conflict management. Great, right there. Use those. And if you get to the point where you are beating your head against a brick wall, I'd say that's a pretty clear discernment that God may be calling you on to another place, in another ministry. So those are my thoughts. Like I said, I've been through this before. I've had time to heal. 3 years ago, I would have been pretty bitter and pretty hurt. But I feel that I've been able to offer you some solid advice. If there's anything I missed or anything you want further clarified, leave it in the comments below, and we'll see you next time I film one of these training times. It is really hot out here.